So there was this meme circulating on social media,
All right.
on various channels, various social media, big social media profiles, blah blah blah. And it was this one. I thought it was quite amusing. So a lot of people, obviously, who posted it, they were anti this crowd and they were pro this crowd. So basically, what it says: a Pakistani youth or boys and girls at the age of 18, they are at a crossroads. They need to make a choice, either to go left or to go right. And on the right, you can see yours truly as well.
Yeah.
So by the way, I just wanted to talk about who I was. First of all, I was honored that I am, or I could be seen in the same light as the other three people. This guy, Pervez Hoodboy, he's a nuclear physicist. He's a scientist. I think he did his PhD from MIT. He's been a very known intellectual. I think he's 70 plus now. He teaches. He used to teach in some American university. I forgot. Oh, Princeton, University of Princeton, I think. He used to teach nuclear physics over there as well. So there's a genuine, true scientist, not an Islamist or nothing. And he never speaks about Islam, though. So a lot of people think that he's an atheist, but again, he's never said it, so we're not going to go by that. But he is a very enlightened person, and he has the spine to stand up to these religious zealots.
Let's just say religion didn't get him that far, or Islam didn't get him that far.
Yes, exactly. But unfortunately, despite being one of the only true internationally acclaimed, respected scientists of Pakistan, he has no following. Even though he's appeared on TV.
They ostracize him.
They ostracize him, yeah. And again, sometimes they call him Ahmadi as well, which is like whatever. But I think the second person, this lady is Mahrooz. I forgot her name because I didn't know about her before. She's a transgender woman. She's a trans woman. So she obviously is speaking about those issues as well. And her name is Mehroob Moiz is her name, and she's obviously trying to end transphobia. And there was actually a hashtag trending on Pakistani Twitter because they were trying to bring in new legislation, pro-trans legislation in Pakistan. But obviously, typical transphobic, homophobic, atheistophobic Pakistani public are not happy with that, and they were trending against it. So she's obviously, quite big in her own right as well. And I'm sorry I didn't know about her before, but now I do follow her. This guy, he is a genius that's just come out of in Pakistani social media. He's actually a news anchor as well now. I think he's done his MPhil in political science and probably going to do his PhD very soon in philosophy as well. He quotes ancient philosophers. I think he's read every word that was ever written by Nietzsche. So he can quote these philosophers. So when you're talking to him, when you're listening to him, you feel intimidated in a way that, oh, I don't know anything. So, sometimes you get these vibes from people that when a smart person is talking, you're like, I'm just going to shut up and I'm going to listen. So he's a genius.
Because if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. So that's
good. But he's brilliant. And probably an atheist too. But again, he's never said it, so I'm not going to go by that, okay? But he speaks about liberalism, he speaks about liberal ideas, and he stands up to these religious zealots and he destroys them quite brazenly. So I'm worried about him as well. But he's some people want to stay in the system and change it. I mean, I would have said, screw this, I'm leaving this country. Even though I left Pakistan way before I became an atheist, I just came here to study and then I just stayed here because life's better here. So, and much later I became an atheist. So that had nothing to do with it. But if I had stayed in Pakistan, I think I would have left anyway, just because the quality of life is crap. And if I wanted to talk about these things, then I would have done it. So that's and the fourth one, you obviously know him. That's some dude as well. Yeah, that's some dude as well. He's all right. But the only difference between these three and him is he's an outspoken, openly atheist person. I think that is probably the only. I'm definitely not the smartest in that category, but I think the only edge that goes to me is I am an openly atheist that has come out of Pakistan and he makes videos in Urdu, and a lot of people have come out, and there literally thousands of love letters as well. I've actually got one as well, that people say, "Oh, thanks to you or listening to you, I became an atheist or enlightened person." So that's on one side. Yeah, such a difficult choice. The nuclear physicist, a new age trans woman, a philosopher, and some other dude as well.
A guy who loves the sound of his own voice. No, I'm kidding.
So that's him.
I'm joking.
And then on the other side, let me introduce some of these people.
Oh, that side looks very appealing, Horace. I'm leaning that way, my friend. I'm leaning.
Okay, so this guy.
I'm leaning left at the minute.
This guy is the son of some brigadier in Pakistan. He openly says, makes issues, says people should be so and so, people should be killed. He should be killed. Blah blah blah. Openly says that. Nothing happens because he's very well connected. He infamously once made a video about me, and he said that, why don't you arrest this guy's parents, torture them, so Haris will then see how Haris comes running back to Pakistan. And then
are you serious?
Yeah. He made this video about me. I tweeted that a while ago. Yeah. So, yeah, that guy.
Audacity.
He also said that, when you hear about these atheists, why don't you just extrajudicially kill them? And then in the police report or medical report, just say that, he was walking by, he was having his walk by the sea at a beach, and then he just had a heart attack and then he died. He slipped down the stairs, he died. So he
sounds like he's a prime contender to join the Iranian morality police.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. He's that kind of person. And just recently with Nupur Sharma's case, he openly made a video and he said that, some Muslim is going to kill you, or otherwise we're going to get some Sikh to kill you. That's the kind of that guy. Okay.
Now they employ Sikh gangsters. Okay.
Yeah. So that's number one, prime contender on the left side. How easy?
Can I take 10 steps back, please? Actually, I'm running towards the other side.
Okay. Wait till you see the next one. So this guy, Dr. Israr Ahmed, a very respected Islamic scholar, but the more honest you are about Islam, the worse you look for the rest of the world. So he's endorsed sexual slavery. Slavery used to happen. He was a big believer of, so what, Aisha was 9 years old or whatever.
So good Muslim.
Yeah, but he died in 2004 or 5. But his channel recently, his YouTube channel recently got deleted, which was being run by his son. And he had his old videos on VHS, on those cassettes. So they were constantly uploading them. So his channel recently got deleted last year. And do you want to know why that was? Do you remember the story of this British Muslim who flew to America and he attacked this synagogue?
Yeah.
Remember? Yeah. So and we played his audio as well, where his brother was saying whatever. So that guy was inspired by him.
Oh, snap.
List is great, huh? This is amazing list, right?
Oh my goodness. 20 steps back, I'm retreating. Rich, get me out of here.
So that's the other guy. So again, and we report these channels to these guys, but YouTube doesn't take any action. Only when someone has to get murdered or something, and they join the dots and the breadcrumbs lead to these kind of people, then they say, okay, it's time to delete them.
Yeah, and it's usually reactive. It's never proactive.
Yeah, it never is.
Exactly. Which is the most dangerous thing. They don't act until something's already happened.
Yeah, by the same logic, people like hijab and Ali Dawah should be cancelled. YouTube should delete them. Ali Dawah has said it on record that people like us should be killed. He's proud of that.
Incitement to violence, clear. Hate speech and
he's also said even if his daughter was 9 years old, he would marry her off. Like he said, he's made these kind of statements. So when somebody, and these guys are literally inspiring thousands and thousands of people, and so when someone is actually, this is YouTube's logic. If someone does marry off his 9-year-old daughter to some other 50-year-old dude, and when he's investigated, and then he says, I listened to Ali Dawah, that's the criteria. Is that the time when YouTube would take him off? By the looks of it, that's what it looks like.
I don't understand, because if, for example, that was to be heard on a phone call to social services, that this father is saying that he would marry his 9-year-old daughter off to an old man in his 50s, social services would be straight onto that. And the police would be straight onto that. And there would be a forced marriage protection order put on the girl. And she would be taken away from the dad's custody. Like, I don't understand how YouTube are just casually allowing this to happen, especially
not
clear
only is
incitements to violence. Like, it's not hard to see when Mohammed hijab is
dog
like
whistling.
dog whistling. Like, you've got to stop. You've got to be able to read between the lines and stop saying, unless we see this verbatim, we're not going to take any action, because that's not how these things happen.
Yeah.
People are inspired by somebody's word or their tone or their way of saying it or their interpretation of it, or they've had a bad day and they remember something that that man said because they were his massive follower, and boom, they go and do something.
I don't know much about this third guy. Apparently, he's an Islamist as well, and he's under custody or something. I don't know much about him. But anyway, this fourth guy, he's a comedian. Okay, so he basically watches Marvel movies, and he Avengers, Age of Ultron, etc. And then he comes out with radical theories, amazing theories, and he says Quran is talking about wormholes. Quran is talking about teleportation.
Stop it! Stop it! Are you trolling or is this for real?
I swear I'm not trolling, and he has millions of followers. There are literally millions of followers, and he talks. Even radical Muslims are like, "What the heck are you talking about?" But the youth, they love him. He's like Iron Man. He's like Suleiman. You know, Suleiman used to talk to ants. He's like, yeah. Ant-Man. Dr. Dolittle.
Dr. Dolittle, Tarzan, and Ant-Man all in one.
Yeah,
oh
he talks
my God.
Yeah, so Captain America, I think Prophet Muhammad is Captain America or something, teleportation, wormholes, all of these things. Star Trek, he mixes that with Islam. I'm not trolling, and I kid you not.
And this
100%.
sells.
And it sells. And it sells. Yeah. It
Whoa.
sells. So that's a hard choice that people of Pakistan or the youth of Pakistan have to make. You know, and a serious philosopher and a serious nuclear scientist and a serious trans activist and this guy.
But Harris, can I just say one thing on the last guy? I just want to put this out there, okay? If it just a point of conjecture anyway. If, for example, the youth of Pakistan are somehow thinking that the Quran is like talking about like all these like superheroes and there's like, you know, cosmic like worlds and wormholes and portals and maybe dark matter, and at least do you not think that at least they are hearing of concepts now that they at least would otherwise not have heard of? Like, if you just read the Quran back and forth, like you know, in a madrasa style setting in Arabic, that's just pumping nonsense into your head, right? It's just pumping gibberish. But at least now you're like, a kid is going to be like, oh, wormholes. Like, I know what a wormhole is because it's in our book, but it's basically.
Now you're going to have to
It's when like the jinns teleported like Queen Sheba's throne to King Solomon's temple in like the blink of an eye because he could command them. He was actually like time and space where the continuum was combusting, and he had summoned them to go through the portal and like what? But at least they're thinking along those lines. What do you reckon?
Well, yeah, I guess so. I mean, I to be honest, I couldn't watch it. Like, I only watched one video a while ago, and I was like, wow, kudos for. No, you can't even give them credit for creativity because he's stealing these ideas.
True. And he's just superimposing them actually onto the Quran. He'd be like the Alex Jones of the Muslim world.
Yeah.
If you like these videos and want to support me in my activism, then you can support me on Patreon or PayPal. Stay free, everyone.